on with the next presentation. The next speaker.
Oh, you do? Yeah. You spoke to me.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. The next speaker has a whole range. Jannes and Bas. The next speaker has a whole range of activities. He does e-cash. A few months ago he talked about units. Now he will talk about his Decentralize Everything manifesto. So please a big applause for Mathijs Koenraadt.
So I'd like to talk to you about the article I wrote on LinkedIn called Decentralized Everything. So I'm not an expert, I'm just somebody who likes to think about how you can use the Bitcoin blockchain for different kind of use cases, new ways. I myself have worked in online payments for the last 5 years, so I'm trying to find some new innovation. And of course, when Bitcoin came, I had to get started with it. So first of all, what is decentralization? Even with the case of the Firebay, recently, a few days ago, it was shut down. Why? Because it's simply a computer server somewhere in Sweden in a hosting site where the police or whoever could simply raid the office, shut down the server, and that's it. The website is gone. But the underlying BitTorrent network, of course, still works, so you can still share those files, but now it's difficult to find the torrent files, the torrent links to them. Another example is, of course, Mega Upload. And so we can use the Bitcoin blockchain technology to create, for example, a blockchain of torrent links where you can share information that cannot be shut down. Because it's not one server, it's really like Bitcoin, the software on your computer. The information is stored across all kind of peers, the peer nodes who participate in these networks. So, past year I've been involved in the Bitcoin community. I've met a lot of people, and some people have new ideas. Like I met somebody who wanted to build a decentralized insurance system. So I figured, why not write a simple article and list some of these ways that you can use the Bitcoin blockchain in other ways than just as money or a currency. Well, it got a little bit of attention, and so Bas asked me to talk about it here. That's why I'm here. So with decentralization, I imagine that you can do money like Bitcoin, but you can also take back ownership of your online identity. For example, if you have a Facebook profile, Facebook owns the content you store on their servers. Why can't you have your own control of your own identity? Like you have Bitcoin on your phone or on your computer. Why can't I have my online identity on my phone, and I can give permission who can use it, so turn it around. So that's not just identity, it's your privacy. And then you can go even a step further and think about your actual productivity. When you have a job and you make money. I was at a conference in Rotterdam called Geld voor de Toekomst, Money for the Future. And there was a speaker named Ad Boeren. He had done some research and he found out that 75% of the net profit that Apple makes is actually paid out to the shareholders. Now, of course, as an employee, you can probably buy some shares, but still the majority of those shares is owned by a small group of people. So how is it possible that a small group of people is able to take the productivity of so many people? Well, in case of Apple, you have 50,000 employees and they get just 25% of the net profit. So they get 25% of their productivity. Well, that's strange. Does it really have to be like that? Can you organize yourself in a different way, where you have some kind of decentralized autonomous organization that works kind of like a blockchain, where you become say 99% or 100% owner of your productivity. So it's not that you hate investors, they can get their fair share, but it shouldn't be centralized in the hands of a small group. So that was my idea. So if you go beyond just the internet and try to use this decentralized blockchain system to change the way people cooperate, change the way people work together, or then you can go, you can build systems that essentially cannot be shut down. So you could have a decentralized virtual company that cannot be raided. You don't have a headquarters. You don't have these kind of things. So yeah. So in the article that I wrote on LinkedIn, I went through just a few examples, and that's because people are actually working on these things. Blockstream, for example, is a company that wants to build. Yeah, most of these companies try to build something like a web of trust, whereby people can rate each other, or the people you know, your friends, and you can carry this this passport with you where you go, and you can. So Blockstream actually got like $20 million in investment recently, but it's sometimes very difficult to understand how they are really going to do it. So in case of Identify, it's a bit more easier to understand. You have so you have a Facebook profile, you have a Twitter profile, you have your Bitcoin wallet, and you can link these things together on the Identify network, which is also going to run on something like a blockchain. And then you can have your friends rate you. And the idea is that if I am looking for a trustworthy watchmaker, I will look for a watchmaker through my Identify network, through my own friends, and they say, well, this watchmaker you can trust him, and I can trust that watchmaker because my friends say that you can trust him. One Name is also a popular site. It's more like, I think, a digital passport where you just register a Bitcoin address or something and attach your profile to it. But you can see that you can take these things like identity and trust out of a marketplace or your eBay rating or your Facebook or your LinkedIn number of friends you have. You can take it out of those centralized systems and become more of an owner of your own online identity. Yeah, these are some more examples of when you go to want to do contracts, like you want to start a new virtual company with other people, you could register that in something like Ethereum. So I don't know. Sometimes like it's very hard for me to explain the difference between Ethereum and Counterparty, but they're doing smart contracts whereby. So Ethereum is like a decentralized programming language officially, where you can run contracts on them. Well, the use cases of these things are that you can, instead of going to a notary to have your marriage signed, or going to sell a house or to sign for your mortgage, that you should be able to do these things between people without the middleman. So. One very interesting project I saw just a few months ago was launched, BitNation. This is a group of people who try to actually start a new government, a virtual government where you can get a real passport. The motivation was that there are people even in the Western world who don't have a national identity. They are stateless. What do they do? How can they get access to things like insurance or healthcare or things like that? And this could be a solution if, for example, coexists with the existing system. So you have your official Dutch passport, then you can also you can voluntarily join any other virtual nation that you want, and this would have rights and duties, but it would be in a much more voluntary way, which I like. And then I was reading that the internet itself is not really decentralized. For example, the distribution of the domain names, you have to go to the ICANN or the SIDN and purchase your domain name there. And can these things be different? So MadeSafe, the safe network, the way I understood, is you can run it. It's like like BitTorrent, but you can actually run a server that does HTTP or FTP or a mailing server. And this decentralized server would run on real servers, of course, but they have some cryptographic security so that you cannot intercept information. And I'm sure in the Bitcoin community you must have heard of Ripple. It's this is actually a consensus system. So I've been explained that it's not really decentralized yet. And but I actually read today about another company called Tendermint, and they claim to have a consensus protocol with some additions to make it decentralized. So Ripple and Stellar are actually the similar software, but different.
I see your question.
Yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, with Tendermint, I actually spoke to the developer and wrote a few articles on it. The problem with Tendermint is it introduced the centralization issues. Yeah, I don't know 100%.
So it's not really, also not really decentralized.
Well, it was actually, I sent it to Vitalik from Ethereum to look over it. I sent it to Rathwolf, like developer of Blackcoin, and a few other people.
Yeah.
And they all came with the consensus that whilst it removed some of the issues presented with proof of stake, it also introduces a lot of other issues in terms of centralization and stuff like that. But it was like nice paper.
So the version itself is also consensual.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I actually personally I like the Ripple idea simply because it can do euros for the financial. So if you want to do consumer banking, you will probably not use Bitcoin to try to move euros at the moment. But maybe someday we will have something like it that is really decentralized. So I came up in an article that I've been writing. I came up with lots of other ideas. So the decentralized autonomous organizations. One I liked is a crypto security stock exchange started by the CEO of Overstock.com, Patrick Byrne. He's trying to start an exchange system to actually replace Wall Street or do it his own. And then, so like I talked about the notaries, you have also custodians. So if you trade on Wall Street, officially you're supposed to give your stock to a custodian who keeps them. But all these things can of course be digitized and put in something like a blockchain. I was thinking of patents and trademarking. Could you patent your own invention yourself and maybe get some approval rating from other inventors? Or peer-to-peer lending is very popular in the Netherlands. In Amsterdam, actually, if you go to the Holland FinTech meetups, everybody seems to be starting lending companies. I had a crazy idea: what if the people could actually democratically vote for what they want to spend their taxes on? So if you like to spend your tax on education, it goes to education, and not to the politician who then spends it on a war or something. So if you could be more in control of all these kind of things. And then even crazier, can we even as a people democratically steer or control the supply of money of our own economy, the inflation and deflation, so that maybe it could be adjusted more to a real-time need rather than a political decision. Then of course you have insurance. There's actually a guy in Amsterdam working on insurances because I think insurance companies take about 14% or even more of the policy payments for their own overhead costs. So you could cut it out from there. Or an army, yeah. That's just an idiot. So what I wanted to, just my last slide, I wanted to tell you something about, I was reading a book called A Brief History of Humankind by Professor Yuval Harari at the University of Jerusalem. And he explains that everything around us, everything we believe in, is officially imagined order. So your nationality was once made up. The Netherlands did not always exist. It was founded, and then now you have your passport, says you are a citizen of the Netherlands, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. But this is imagined order. It's the day that we wake up and we stop believing in the Netherlands stops to exist.
Yeah.
It's imagination. Yeah? And he says, but you cannot easily change this imagined order because in order to do so, you need to convince the power elites, the security forces, and the majority of the people to say, okay, let's stop believing in the Netherlands and call it something else. So, if you think about decentralized systems like Bitcoin, I think it is possible that the people can adopt Bitcoin or another decentralized system, and you don't need approval from your government. You don't need approval from like the army. Can the army shut down Bitcoin?
No.
No. So that's the point. You should be able to change this imagined order without permission from higher authorities.
Well, they can.
Yeah.
They can. They can kill everybody who's using Bitcoin.
Kill everybody, yes. Well, so the purpose of this talk is just to present some ideas and give you some inspiration to maybe think about it, about new ways to decentralize other things. And I think the Bitcoin blockchain technology is really a good starting point for all these kind of ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.